Well, happy 2021.
Happy New Year, my friend.
How are you?
I'm good. Got some stuff going on, little
Yeah.
problems at home with my dad's health. Shout out and prayer to my dad, who had heart surgery about 2 weeks ago and now is back in with a kidney issue. So thinking about you today, Dad.
Well, that stinks, and I'm sure he's going to be just fine.
Yep.
Hopefully. And welcome to 2021. So I was looking down at a couple of notes, and hopefully we got a lot of people jumping on today and going to join us. Our guest today is Zach Krupp, guy who wrote a book. But as always, shout out to Woodstock Inn and Brewery. Hopefully they're going to have a big year. I got to have one of their beers this year.
Oh, you absolutely will. I don't know,
Yeah.
and this is going to sound stupid. Can I ship beer? I mean, every time I go to UPS, they ask me if there's liquid in it, in the
I think you can. I think you can. I think some states are a little weird about it, and Oklahoma's one of those. But I think you can always pack beer and just put it in just pack it real tight, right? Just don't tell them. So when they say, "Is there liquid in here?" Be like, "No, I think I drank it all."
It's pure gold. It's not liquid.
That's right. That's right.
All right, I'll send you some.
Good. Sorry, I'm sharing our post. Anyway, let's kick this off with some shots on goal.
Sure. You want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay. Sounds good.
Did the Eagles tank on Sunday? Have you seen this? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I watched it.
Peterson pulls Jalen Hurts out, and Eagles fans lose their mind. And did they tank to possibly part of me as a fan, you hope your team doesn't do that. But then you're first, Kellen. You're first, all the way from hell, Norway. You're first. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Carolyn.
But I'm somewhat okay with tanking a little bit, because you know what? I want a better draft pick. If we know we're not making the playoffs, like what are we fighting for? We're fighting for a 6-10 record,
right?
Yeah, I get it as a real fan of my team up here. Like I don't want to tank, but as a realist, and really from a business standpoint, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So did the Eagles tank? That's the question. What do you think?
I don't think they're smart enough to tank. I don't know. I think, but I'll tell you this: that was it Hurts? Is that his name?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, who was at Alabama and then transferred to OU and did pretty well.
And he was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy.
He was.
He would look good. He would look good. I wouldn't mind seeing him here. I mean, if they don't love him, if they're tanking for a better quarterback, I mean, come on.
Well, I think they were just tanking for a better draft pick because he played pretty good late, but then you've got the whole issue with what's his name? What's the other quarterback they have?
I don't know.
I can't think of his name. The guy who kind of won a Super Bowl, kind of didn't. But
he didn't win a Super Bowl.
No, he didn't win it. He didn't win it. But so that's my first shot on goal. What do you got today, sir?
All right, so I got a story. Do you know what this is?
Looks like a paper towel roll to me.
All right. Well, here at the penalty box, we do have props. So I got a story. So you know how powerful LinkedIn is, right?
Yes.
So let me tell you this real quick story. I'll make it brief. I'm laying on the couch circa 2017. And I LinkedIn connected with someone, and he got right back to me. Long story short, this guy was kicking off a company that was going to be an Uber for women. Okay. It had to be a woman to use it. And, there's a lot of things that go around with women not being safe in Ubers and Lyfts and that kind of stuff. I thought it was a wonderful idea. So they came to our office. Our whole team was here.
Did they call it Woober? What did they call it?
No, they called it Woke.
Okay.
Right. So, So they came here. We had a great meeting. We negotiated. They hired us to kick their website off, to kick their social media off. Long story short, they never paid us and they never made it. And that's But one of the guys bragged about this. All right. So his previous job was at Procter & Gamble, and he was in marketing with Procter & Gamble. And he told me that they spent, let me show you this right here. They spent, this is a sheet of paper towel.
Okay.
They spent millions of dollars and hundreds of hours on whether they should make it smaller.
I don't like the smaller ones.
So I'm just telling you, what a waste of money. I think that a lot of people that are stretching their dollars could have used all that money when they wanted to go smaller, and they spent all that time doing market research when they could have probably just called any single mothers trying to stretch their dollar. So that's my shot on goal is my quick story about
you know what. You know what's interesting about those paper towels is I don't like those little. It's a pet peeve of mine is when you go to a restaurant and you go into the bathroom and you swipe and it goes and it kicks out like a sheet, like and it drives me crazy. Give me one sheet and I won't be PO'd when I walk out of the bathroom.
Well, if you're gonna brag that you were on the team that invented the half sheet of paper towel, then at least pay your marketing firm.
Yes. My next shot on goal is, Evan Carmichael is going to be on our show here in a couple of weeks, and he, our boy Sean Litvak turned me on to his 30-day challenge. I think that he's doing, and I've started to listen to it every day, and just good stuff. And our guy Brian Monahan last year, over the course of the year, one day said, "You know what you are?" And I said, "No." He said, "You're a connector." And I felt good about that, right? Anytime Bourbon Brian gives you I'm a connector, right? And I loved it. And that right, inside joke. But Evan Carmichael is a connector. He's a guy that brings all these resources and all these people together, and he gives it to you. And does he win in the process? Yes. And so the shot on goal is, deliver merit. Bring things to people that they can put their hands on, they can dig their teeth into, and they can own some of that stuff, and they can learn. And Evan Carmichael gains because he gains all the subscribers, and he gains all the people, and he gains all the money when people watch his ads that are on his YouTube page.
Yeah, you're right.
Shout out to Evan Carmichael. I've got one more if you don't.
I do have one quick one, and it's a thanks. It's a thanks to you. You had sent us this link of your local pastor, and we watched it. And I quickly put into motion something that he said we should do, or maybe it was you that said we should do it. I reached out to 5 people that truly love.
That was him.
I reached out to 5 people that I truly love today, and let them know that I was grateful and thankful for them. And something I'm going to try to continue to do. So, what's your last? Last?
Well, I think I'm going to start a new thing called Tool of the Week, right? Okay. This guy, Robert Galinsky, he's filed a class action lawsuit against King Hawaiian Rolls.
Okay. a class action.
They're not made in Hawaii.
Oh, so we can join in on that?
Yeah, they're made in California, and this is a guy that's in New York. Go figure. He was unhappy. He felt misled. Tool of the week. There it is. # Tool of the week.
All right, cool. I'm going to write that down.
Robert Galinsky, you get the first ever # Tool of the week.
I love it. Tool of the week. I'm going to add to that next week. Yes.
Class action lawsuit. So there's that. And then my untool of the week. That's not a real thing, but Randy Chafee started us on this walking kick last year, and he's apparently walking to like Tabasco,
Mexico
over the course of the year. Hey, Lloyd, good morning. But one of the things I used to listen to a lot this year that I've restarted listening to is the CMO podcast with Jim Stengel, and it's incredible. And I love it, and I've started listening to it again this week. And so I'm putting this out there, Jim. We're coming for you. We're going to get you on the show. The guy provides just some real incredible information. He has some of the best CMO in some of the biggest companies on this, and some of the things that I struggle with, and some of the things that I live, and some of the things that in the ways that we try to bring Perfect Crust, Incredible Bags, whatever to market. These guys live the same life. I live it on a smaller scale, but and that's some of the stuff that you live as well. It's like, how do we get in front of people, and what is our vision, and what does our brand mean, and what does it represent in the market, and what do I think about it, but what do consumers think about it?
That's all important.
Yeah. Screw sometimes what we think about it is what do people think about it?
Right.
You know,
and
so
all you have to do is ask them. And if they don't tell you directly, their actions will tell you indirectly.
Yeah. So shout out to Jim. Jim, I'm going to tag you. We're going to get you on this show, big boy. Just get ready. We're coming.
Shout out to Al Brown from Colorado watching us, and thanks for the well wishes, Al.
I love Al Brown. Is that Al Vivian Brown?
No.
Oh, okay. Different Al Brown then. Different Al Brown. Yes, best wishes for sure. Good morning, Sean. Good morning,
happy
Lloyd.
Belated birthday, Al. So.
Yes. Well, let's get our guests in here. Zach Attack, are you here today?
I'm here.
There he is.
Hey.
Good morning.
How you doing? Good morning. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Well, you bet. Welcome to the penalty box. You know, be thankful you're not tool of the week.
Bless, man. Yeah, that was tough.
Exciting.
That guy's
so I wanna introduce Zach. I met Zach at a Jeffrey Gitomer event 3 or 4 years ago in Dallas, and I was telling Tim and Wes a little earlier, kind of how I met him was. They have this event. I go to the VIP event the evening before. I have dinner that night with Gitomer, Jen Gitomer, the whole team. Zach stuck out to me the whole time, right? Tall, look, one of the things I wrote down, do you consider yourself a pretty boy? You can answer that question a little bit. But here's this tall, good-looking kid who's engaging with everybody. And then the next morning before the event starts, they've got coffee and pastries. And I think they have this, like, they want everyone to interact. Well, I'm interacting, right? Zach's interacting. A lot of people are just like, let me stand over here by myself and be a wallflower. And that wasn't Zach. And so I immediately followed Zach on Instagram, and I'll let you kind of talk about your journey in a second. But if you want some positive, uplifting stuff in your life, this kid right here, there is your guy. He every day he's talking about positive stuff, and he'll kind of get into that with his book as well. And I don't want to build you up too much because we all have our struggles, and you've talked about some of that stuff too. But let's get into it. How did you end up working for the Gitomers?
Yeah, so for Jeffrey, it's funny. I feel like I have so many stories, but I guess everyone has their own path, and they just kind of unfold as you go. But at the time, I was in college at Illinois State University, and I had taken up some network marketing, and I was with a health and wellness company. And I just really started personal development and getting into books, and I had read the Little Red Book of Selling by Jeffrey Gitomer. And that kind of led me to connecting with him on all forms. I plugged into his email list. I plugged into his Sell or Die podcast, and I just became kind of a follower and student of his. And funny enough, he had this contest, and it was called the Yes Attitude Contest. And he's the author of the Yes Attitude book. He said, hold up the book and tell me how this book gave you a yes attitude. And timing worked out perfectly. That book propelled me to jump out, start doing lives like this, get out of my comfort zone and do some things. So long story short, I won this Yes Attitude contest, and Jeffrey Gitomer flew me out to Charlotte, and I got to be a guest on the show. He gave me all his signed books. He mentored me. I walked through his library. And so it was just this great thing. And I wanted to work for the Chicago Bulls at the time, and we joked around, and long story short, they ended up hiring me. And so funny enough, just being, I guess, positive and being likable on the spot, and also studying sales in school, it just worked out. So that's how I ended up over there.
So back to one of my original questions. Are you a pretty boy?
I embrace it 100%. Yes, I am a pretty boy. You just got to call it.
All right,
how it
kick
is,
him off. Kick him off.
Whoa! Look at just dropped my laptop. I was getting ready to fire you out of here, and I fired my own laptop on the floor. But that's all right. I'm getting excited. That's what happens in the penalty box. Gets rough.
Hey, it's all good. And you just got to embrace who it is. So yeah, I like to be well groomed. I like to be clean cut. So there's nothing wrong with looking nice, but I'm not too uptight. I still have my fun. So still let loose every time to time. So
cool. So let's get into this book a little bit. So it's called The Direct Line.
Yeah.
Any play on that from The Direct Line with from Earl Nightingale? Any thought of how that kind of worked together? I'm sure. Go ahead.
That's so funny you say that. So Wow. So I'll tell you where it came from. The direct line was just kind of, I thought this was an original idea. That's what's crazy. One day, the name of the book originally was actually called Social Media Influencer Mastery. I'm like, that's kind of a mouthful. And one day I was just like, the direct line. So I search it up. I'm like, I hope no one has this, only to find out Earl Nightingale, who I listened to, love, Jeffrey talks about, had written a book with that same name. And so I think it might have been subconscious. I think maybe I listened to what I have, Lead the Field. I have a few books of his that have been recreated and listened to audio. So I think subconsciously, like, that might have been in my head, and I found out he had it, and it made me even more likely to do it, since I found out you can have the same name as long as there's a little difference there. So I'm actually happy to and proud to, because like him and Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn, like all guys. So I'm like, these are great guys. So I'm glad it worked out that way. But really, the whole name of the book is really because that's what it is. So a little bit about the book. It's called The Direct Line: How to Connect and Engage Online with Any Influencer in the World. And really, I'm very, very adamant about this. I've had experience with this over time in high school. I loved the NBA, and I would reach out to NBA players, and I had good success receiving direct replies from NBA players, but I was just messing around. I didn't know what I was doing. And then when I was working with Jeffrey, they had the podcast, and I kind of took it upon myself to help reach out to some high-level guests, people that are normally hard to reach, guys like Jack Canfield or Andy Frisella or David Meltzer, these other kind of guru types. And over time, I found like I had a formula. I can reach it, and I started believing it. And what I did is I just kind of studied everything I'd done since 2012 and kind of put it all together into one. And I feel that this can be, a direct line, quote unquote, for someone to reach someone who's normally unreachable, and not just in a general sense too of, I want to get a selfie or a DM, but if you have a dream, I'm attaching this to dreams because I believe that it's valid. Let's say you had a dream, whatever it is, you wanted to go to New York City and be on Broadway, but you didn't go to the school and you don't know the person who oversees the interviews. Well, you can use this formula and attach it to massive action and make a undeniable plan to reach that person. So I feel like what a tool that can be for people, pursuing their highest level or their dreams and ambitions.
Can you use that formula if you're in sales to meet a decision maker?
Yes. So I will say, I don't want to be misleading. I think specifically what I've shared here, this specializes in influencers. So people who, it helps if they have a podcast, it helps if they have a book, it helps if people have written articles about them. So I say celebrities. However, I will say many of the tools cross here. Many of the tools cross because, of course, I did sales myself. I sold sales to salespeople with Jeffrey. So some of it's just real world. And this is just stuff on how you can get people's attention, period. So yes, you certainly could benefit from probably half the stuff that's in the book. It's very social media. It's all tangible. It's all like strategies and ideas, and that can be applied to social media and how you can get on people's radar. So I would definitely say yes, with a specialization towards, influencers, celebrities, and entrepreneurs.
Cool.
For sure.
Did Jeffrey write the foreword of your book?
He did not, but I have him on the back. So
okay.
I was doing this, while I was working, doing everything else, and I saw them crank out 3 books, the year I was there. So it was kind of inspired. Wow. And then I finished this book after I left. Eric had mentioned I had some health issues, but I got him on the back saying, "This kid is going to win, and he's going to win big, Jeffrey Gitomer." So I got the good quote on the back. Yeah.
Zach, I did want to add, because I think the circle that Tim and I run in, we've got 4 or 5 people writing books right now. Yeah. How long did it take you? What did that process look like for you? I think it's different for everybody, but what did it look like for you?
Yeah, it's an interesting process because truthfully, I had no idea how to write a book, and this was all new to me. Like I said, I did see Jeffrey and them do it, but I took a less traditional route. This started as an idea. And I said, this is a good idea. Let me make a video. And I created the video and I said, you know, maybe I'll turn this into an ebook. So I went to Fiverr and I had it transcribed into text. And then I kind of just went on a Google Doc and filled in the gaps. And I made a few mistakes. A few things I would say is I didn't know where to start. So I made the book on Canva, right? So I was trying to make an ebook in there. And the mistake I had, to any authors out there, is never try to fit your information to a format. Always do your information first to the full regard, to the best explanation that you can, and then take that information and move it to the format, because I had to go backwards and actually like cut out words where I could because the spacing wouldn't fit. So that was one mistake, but I went the self-publishing route. I used a publisher called Lulu. It took me, it evolved. So the actual writing was probably done in 5 months, because I always had the ideas, but then I revised it like 20 times and just kind of improved it and made it better. So it's definitely my advice to anyone. It's an ongoing process. And the biggest advice is it will never be perfect. You know, I thought it was ready and then I found this mistake, or I saw this could be better and then I wanted to add this. Sometimes you just got to go, and then you got to just take massive action and just, you know, promote it, get it out there. Because if no one reads it, your impact will never be felt. So you can always go back and make it better or revise it along the time. Yeah.
In the Megamind group, we call that the Litvak process.
Yeah, you don't know what that means, Zach, but just trust us. That's what that is.
Okay.
One of the interesting things about the book, to kind of back into some stuff in a weird way, are there people in the book that you mentioned that are celebrities that after the book comes out, then they see the book and then they're like, well, then it causes this whole connection?
Haha, see, you're very smart, Eric. So one of the things I include in the book is I include some tangible life information too. Things that I've found to be very useful. Massive action plans is one of the greatest things I've ever discovered. Doing the complete opposites of the masses is one of the greatest uncoveries I ever had. And one of the other things I talk about here is one of the biggest plays in my life that's helped me elevate and helped me succeed early is leveraging two things against each other. And I talk about that in depth, and making the book is in essence a leverage component. So I could be talking about a previous connection. So in the book, I share experiences with other people in a famous person's circle, right? So let's say I want to reach Tony Robbins, which I do. So I know a few of his friends, and I put a few of his friends in the book and talked about how we've met, how we've interacted, how they've said good words about me. And then I sent him the book. And then my hope is, hey, maybe he reads the personal note I have, and that's a connecting point in itself. I made these customized boxes. I sent you this custom printed book with a letter inside of it. And now I hope you read it. And now I'm going to go on social media, and I'm going to hope that your friends share it. So yes, in a sense, this is a seed for me. You know, I want the book to do well, but I'm here for the absolute long game. And I had a few direct responses from these, you know, great entrepreneurs. But my thought is, I might not be deserving yet. You know, if they didn't reach out yet, maybe my value proposition isn't high enough yet. And I'm going to plug along. But one day when I have that right value nugget, that video that gets shared out and they come across it, what I'm going to have, another thing I talk about in the book, is they are going to know who I am, right? So that's having those points of spheres of influence, I believe it's called, or points of influence. And so then they're going to say, oh yeah, isn't that the guy who sent me the book? And hopefully, fingers crossed, they go on their bookshelf and look for the box that they barely opened or whatever at the time and say, oh, and then they read back. And at that point, I have a locked on direct connection because of everything else I did from all those touch points. So I absolutely did think about that. And that is huge, truthfully huge.
What's the end game?
For the book, or just my end game?
For you.
The end game for me is, truthfully, I want to be one of those guys, not for the ego, but because my passion is a couple things. You know, I love the idea that anything is possible. I love the idea of just removing limitation, and that no matter what your beliefs are, what your background, poor or rich, like, you can do anything, you can be the best. And through mastering different components of your mind, like visualization and just forward thinking, all these things, you can you can kind of turn yourself into anything you want to. So for me, I want to be, speaking on stage, making the courses, writing the books, just like bringing the best out of people, because when I have these conversations, I've truly felt like energy flowing through me, like percolating through me. So I'm very, very enthusiastic about this, and it would be like a dream and a blessing to be able to live that for my, life and career. So that's the goal.
Good for you. Good for you.
Hey, we're gonna wrap this show up here in a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna go back and do the OT. But I want to ask you, for me personally, I've got 3 words for 2021, which are give, grow, and gratitude. I know Tim's got some thoughts on 2021 as well. Do you have any kind of mantra or anything rolling into this new year that you care to share?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to. Kind of 2 phrases that just keep coming up over and over, and they relate to urgency. And especially, I think, with all this stuff, with everything in Corona and in these lockdowns, it holds true more than ever, because life's kind of been able to slow down a bit. Everyone went home, and maybe they have more gratitude. Like you said, they have more awareness. You're spending more time with your family, and, you're like, wow, you can see things instead of chasing, doing the rat race. So the 2 things that have stuck out with me is, 1, this is not your practice life. I feel like so strongly about that. This is not your practice life. Like, the urgency of take action every day. And that phrase ties right back into the other phrase that I've been sharing so frequently, and that's, how bad do you want it? So those 2 phrases tie in with me, right? We all have goals. We all have things we want to accomplish, and it's a new year, and we all say, New Year's goal, new me. But every year, most of us lose focus, or we'd be who we want to be. So I think those 2 phrases going into 2021, keeping them above me, just saying, hey, let's have that urgency this year. And for all those out there, like, hey, life's too short. You see all this crazy stuff. Be who you want to be. This is your only life. You're not going to get another shot at it. Who cares what people think? Who cares about the criticism? Just go for it. Go all out. Go big.
Hey, Eric.
Zach, yes, sir.
Eric, yes. He reminds me of a younger Brian Cristiano in a way.
Yeah. We need to put these 2 together for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Zach, where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so the best place is definitely Instagram. My Instagram, you can just look me up, Zach Krupp, or my actual Instagram is Krupp, Krupp, Sanity, Sanity. I'm very active there. If you text me, it'll take me longer to reply than an Instagram DM. And then for any other information, if you want to check out my book, I have tons and tons of videos, articles, all on mindset, personal development. You can just go to zachkrupp.com. I'm still in the process of remodeling that, but yeah, that's got like everything that I do, and that will backtrack you to my other socials if you want to connect there as well.
Your book, I know you can buy it off the website. Is audio available as well?
It is, yes. So I had a great partner there, and it's a very nice audio program. It's called Soundwise, and that's all on the link as well. Audiobook and hardcover copy.
Awesome. Well, look, we're gonna Wes fire him on. He's been on here way too long.
Yeah.
Just fire him out of here. Zach, he'll send you. There you go. Zach, you're gone. He'll get you the link for the OT, and we'll record that. Get this off of here and everything. That's too much positivity today for me.
That was Alan Barree's style.
Yeah. He's I'm telling you, good. I want to say good kid. I'm going to be 51 in a month, and he's probably half my age, and so you look at a kid, that's a good kid, and he gets it up here. Yeah.
He's got it. Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Timmy, happy week 1 of the new year. I'm excited for this year. You got any big goals and plans for this year?
Yeah, I do. Just continue this train roll, and we celebrated our 30th year in business last week, and we're very excited about that. And for some reason, we're just on fire. And there's talk of possibly opening a satellite office somewhere. So that's something
Oklahoma?
No, somewhere warmer. But we'll fly you in.
Yeah, thank you. Well, look, everybody, have a great week. Shout out to our boy Randy Chafee for his show is going live today at what is it, 12:30, 12 o'clock Eastern.
Yep, that's what I think it is. Yeah, Wes, can you confirm?
Building Nuts or Going Nuts with Randy, or what is it called? Building Wins. Building Wins.
He is going live at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Cool. Wes, any thoughts on today and this week and week 1 of the new year? Any thoughts from you today?
Well, number one, Zach absolutely crushed it. Thank you for being on the show, Zach. We look forward to talking to you in the OT. So far as this year, I think what's old is new. Going hardcore on a mailing list this year. And, of course, video is not going anywhere, guys. That's it. I mean, just sitting back and kicking butt and taking initials because I don't have time to take names.
That's all you need to know. That's Wesley Vivian Wyatt right there. That's how dreams happen. That's it. That his wonky camera that can never, like, it makes my one eye feel weird. So
that's expensive DSLR stuff. Before everyone goes, I want to say you have to catch the OT that we'll post on Friday, because we're going to talk about an annual event in Eric's life called Man Food Day. So we need to figure out what that is. So join us on Friday to hear all about that.
Yep. Have a great week, everyone. Be incredible.